You're listening to Clearly Conspicuous, a podcast series brought to you by Holland & Knight's Consumer Protection Defense and Compliance Team. Here at Holland & Knight, we have the working knowledge of how federal and state agencies operate and how courts address consumer protection issues. Consumer protection laws and regulations impact every dimension of business. Aggressive federal and state agencies are getting the attention of senior executives who are concerned about risk management, compliance challenges, and high-profile governmental inquiries. Holland & Knight's Consumer Protection Defense and Compliance Team has the experience, knowledge, relationships, and platform to effectively work with our clients to address these issues.
Welcome to another podcast of Clearly Conspicuous. As we noted in previous sessions, our goal in these podcasts is to make you succeed in this very aggressive and progressive environment with the government regulatory officials. We want to make you aware of what's going on with both the federal and state consumer protection agencies and give you practical tips for success. It's a privilege to be with you today. Today we discuss three important developments just announced by the Federal Trade Commission. One, its final revisions to the endorsement guides. Two, a proposed new rule on the use of consumer reviews and testimonials. And three, updates to a key staff guidance publication for businesses, endorsers, and members of the advertising industry. So let's focus on the final revised endorsement guides. Last revised in 2009, the guides concerning use of endorsements and testimonials in advertising by the FTC offers advice for businesses on how the FTC Act applies in the use of endorsements. As part of its regulatory review efforts, the FTC announced in May of 2022 that it was seeking public comment on proposed updates to the guides to ensure they reflect current advertising trends, including how long-standing legal principles apply in social media and review platforms. The revised endorsement guides reflect the feedback received and recent law enforcement experiences. So here are the 6 final changes that really merit your attention. 1, these guides articulate a new principle regarding not procuring, suppressing, organizing, upvoting, downvoting, or editing consumer reviews in ways that are likely to distort what consumers really think about a product. 2, these guides address incentivized reviews, reviews by employees, and fake negative reviews by competitors. 3, the guides add a definition of clear and conspicuous and warn that a platform's built-in disclosure tool might not be adequate. 4, the guides update the definition of endorsements to clarify that it can include fake reviews, virtual influencers, and social media tags. 5, the guides provide a clear explanation of the potential liability that advertisers, endorsers, and intermediaries face for violating the law. And 6, the guides emphasize special concerns with child-directed advertising. So let's now move to the proposed rule on the use of consumer reviews and testimonials. In addition to announcing final changes to the endorsement guides, the FTC is proposing a new rule on the use of consumer reviews and testimonials based on comments received in response to a November 2022 advance notice of proposed rulemaking. Comments on the notice are being requested now on a rule that is designed to fight clearly deceptive practices involving consumer reviews and testimonials. The FTC believes there is a need for a rule specifying certain practices as illegal, a rule that clearly spells out prohibited practices and authorizes courts to impose civil penalties that could strengthen the FTC enforcement actions and have a deterrent effect when companies map out their marketing strategies. The proposed rule would specifically prohibit the following practices. First, selling or obtaining fake consumer reviews and testimonials. Second, review hijacking. To be a bit more specific here, the proposed rule would ban businesses from using or repurposing a consumer review written for one product so that it appears to have been written for a substantially different product. And by the way, the FTC recently brought an enforcement action challenging the practice of review hijacking. Third, buying positive or negative reviews. Here, businesses would be prohibited from providing compensation or other incentives contingent upon the writing of consumer reviews expressing a particular sentiment, either positive or negative. Fourth, insider reviews and testimonials. And fifth, company control review websites, where businesses would be prohibited from creating or controlling websites that claim to provide independent opinions about a category of products that includes their own products. Six, illegal review suppression. And seven, selling fake social media indicators. So finally, let's discuss the updated staff guidance. With respect to the endorsement guides, the FTC has issued a publication called What People Are Asking, and it has been a to-the-point business resource for many years. But the FTC has now revised and expanded the publication to answer 40 more questions that may be on the mind of businesses, with a particular focus on influencers and the required disclosure of material connections across different platforms and issues related to reviews. For a 360-degree perspective on the use of endorsements and reviews, please read these revised endorsement guides in the updated publication. So here's the key takeaway. The FTC regulates social media. I want to say that again because I think there is a common misunderstanding about social media regulation. The FTC regulates social media. Platform companies that engage in social media advertising, bloggers, influencers, and brand ambassadors must pay attention. Simply put, all stakeholders and all actors in the social media ecosystem must pay attention to what the FTC is doing. So please stay tuned for further programs, and I wish you continued success and a meaningful day. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Clearly Conspicuous. For more information on our Consumer Protection Defense and Compliance team, visit hklaw.com/CPDC or email anthony.diresta@hklaw.com with any questions about today's episode.